Welcome back to day 3 of Christmas Horrors. Mike here from Real Lounge Entertainment, and today for you we have a Finnish film called Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale. Now, before we get into the movie review, I have a question for you. Do you guys like foreign language films? Are you one of those people who can't watch it, it's too much reading? Or are you like me, where I really enjoy them if they're really well, but I just have to be in the right mood for them? Just let me know in the comments, how do you feel about foreign language films? And from here out, spoiler warning, let's get into it. Rare Exports is from 2010. It's rated R, has a runtime of 1 hour and 25 minutes, and a very impressive 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is a movie I've been meaning to get to for a long time, so I was really excited to watch it. So the movie takes place in some sort of Arctic location. We get introduced to the bad guys before the real bad guys arrive. And this is a group of Americans excavating and digging and looking for something in the snow. We don't know what it is, but here's the leader right here. And they are Americans, but they're definitely not American because they all have accents that sound more like a Indiana Jones villain. And then he's given his workers some new rules like wash behind your ears, don't smoke, don't swear. I guess that's gonna play into the movie later. Then he also says we're sitting on the biggest tomb ever. We have 24 days to open it. And then probably the best quote of the movie is, we have a grave to rob. Then we meet our main character, Pietari, I can't pronounce it. For this video, I'm just gonna call him Pete. We meet his dad and all the other reindeer hunters in a small village in the Arctic. Now, I say village, but it's just a couple of houses, and they're not even close to each other. This kid hates Santa Claus. He has books and books, piles and piles, all dedicated to Santa being a satanic demon of some kind who hates kids and collects them. Seriously, if you live this far up north and you have no way to get anything, the only thing you're going to have is books and books on Santa Claus, don't buy it, but for the movie's sake, let's get into it. And all these pictures, Santa has these huge horns. All he wants to do is kidnap and kill children. But then we also find out later in the movie that this Santa fell through the ice somehow, froze, and then they built this mountain on top of him to keep him contained. The Americans, turns out, are digging for Santa Claus. I don't know what they're going to do with him. Get his powers of some kind, but I don't really understand what that would mean. At the same time, Peter's dad catches some sort of old guy in one of the traps they set to protect his reindeer. Without much convincing, this is Santa Claus, just because the kid came in and told him. Well, this is just some weird old guy who's not talking, smells around when the kids are around, and likes to eat gingerbread, like a lot of gingerbread. And since this is Santa Claus, they know the Americans are looking for him now because the little boy told them that. They decide, we're going to take him and just sell him to the Americans because they blame the Americans for the reindeers that were slaughtered and cost them about $80,000. At the same time, the village has noticed that there's hundreds of sacks missing. Also, all the kids are missing, but no one actually brings that up. On the way to meet the Americans to sell Santa, we get the coolest shot from the whole movie of Santa behind a truck looking at the kid through the windows. And did I say that he likes smiling at kids and eating gingerbread? But he's not the only one. Pete also only eats gingerbread in this movie. In fact, the only thing I see people eat in this movie is gingerbread. Sorry, Pete, no reindeer on the menu today, so Dad has a whole plate of gingerbread for you. In the meeting with the American quickly looks at him and then in a very creepy voice goes, "This is not Santa. This is one of his helpers." And then before you know it, they are ambushed, surrounded by dozens and dozens of naked old men elves. Yeah. After all the elves appear and kill all the Americans and the helicopter pilot, our group escapes into the warehouse where there's this huge chunk of ice with 2 huge horns out of it. We're talking 3 stories high. And guess what? That's Santa. But don't get too excited. I'm telling you right now, that's all you're going to see of Santa. They promise something cool. They don't deliver on that at all, but that's what we got. Santa's also surrounded by all these missing sacks, filled with the live children that are missing from the town as well. So Pete, remembering how the elf reacted to him, gets a grand idea. Get the helicopter, get all the children in a big, huge net, and helicopter them out of there, including him, and then all the elves for chase. So, literally, we have a scene in this where all the children are being chased by 200 naked old man elves. Told you, they went there. They didn't see a problem in this? So now that all the elves have left, the remainder of the group blow up Santa, not before cutting off his horns, of course. And after Santa blows up, all the elves are stand there, do nothing, can't think for themselves. So what do they decide? These elves are worth $85,000 each. How do they come up with that number? I have no idea. So then they take the elves and train them to be Santas, I guess? There's a whole montage where they have dummies sitting on their laps pretending to be kids asking Santa for Christmas, and they put them in crates and then ship them off places, maybe malls or something. I don't know. That's kind of weird, but that's how this movie ends. So as a movie, this has some of the most beautiful scenery I've ever seen in a movie. It's acted well, it's shot well. There's some very cool ideas in there. I just think there's a better movie to be made out of this stuff. Even though all that has going for it, there's some stuff that's just way too weird that kind of takes me out of the movie somewhat. When we covered All Through the House, I respected the heck out of that movie for what they did with such a small budget. And they also did something that I really respected, which was they didn't show us the face of Santa. They took off the mask and it was kind of blurry, but they didn't show us, the audience, and it worked for that movie. This movie has the opposite problem. They did not show us Santa. They needed to show us Santa. This movie would have been so much better if they just showed us Santa. So with the story just not all coming together for me, I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5, just because of how well it was actually shot and acted. That wraps it up on day 3 of Christmas Horrors. Join us tomorrow when we ask ourselves, is babysitting really that hard? Thanks for watching.